Intro and hook. It feels like every single year there's a new miracle diet, right? First, it was keto, then it was all about fasting, and now, deep into 2025, everyone is talking about two things: hyper expensive, personalized nutrition plans, and incredibly complex gut health protocols. We're told these are the keys, finally unlocked by science, to getting the body and health we've always wanted. But what if the real secret to losing weight and feeling incredible isn't hiding in a genetic test or some custom blended probiotic? What if the best advice is the stuff our grandparents could have told us? The advice that's been around for decades, but gets ignored because it's just not flashy enough to be sold back to us. I was tired of all the noise. So, I decided to put them to the ultimate test. I made myself the guinea pig to see what truly delivers results for weight loss and wellness in 2025, the latest, most expensive trends versus the timeless, classic principles of nutrition. And the results were not what I was expecting. Section 1. The contenders. On one side of the ring, we have Team Trend. This is the future, or so they say. It's built on the idea that one-size-fits-all diets are dead, and it's powered by some serious tech, genetic testing, AI-driven meal plans, and deep microbiome analysis that all promise a diet perfectly tailored to your unique biology. The promise is seductive. Eat for your specific genes and your specific gut bugs, unlock optimal health. The cost? We're often talking hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars for the tests and consultations. And in the other corner, we have Team Classic. This isn't a product or a brand. It's wisdom that has stood the test of time. Think of the Mediterranean diet, which, for the 8th year in a row, was named the best overall diet. The core ideas are incredibly simple. Eat whole foods, watch your portions, get enough protein and fiber, and understand that managing your weight really just comes down to energy balance. There are no apps, no tests, and no fancy supplements. Its greatest strength is its simplicity. Its biggest weakness, it doesn't sell very well. So, with our contenders established, I set up 2 challenges to see which approach would win: an all-out battle for weight loss and a head-to-head on overall wellness and energy. Section 2. The test. Round 1. Weight loss. For the first test, the goal was simple: lose body fat. First, I went all in on Team Trend. I simulated the whole personalized nutrition experience. This meant meticulously tracking very specific food groups that a hypothetical gut test might recommend. My diet turned into a complex spreadsheet of exotic fermented foods, pricey plant-based proteins, and specific fiber supplements that were supposed to optimize my metabolic response. The theory, which is backed by a growing field of research, is that our individual gut bacteria affect how we use calories and store fat. So, by eating for my unique microbiome, I should theoretically lose weight more efficiently. Honestly, it was exhausting. The mental energy it took to find specific ingredients and stick to such a rigid, complicated plan was huge. Every single meal felt like a science experiment. Then, I switched to Team Classic. The rules were simple. I focused on a modest calorie deficit, the undisputed king of weight loss. I didn't cut out any foods. Instead, I just made sure to hit a daily protein target to stay full and keep my muscle, and a high fiber intake from fruits and vegetables. I ate things like chicken, fish, veggies, oats, and potatoes. It was boring, it was simple, and it was unbelievably freeing. The verdict on weight loss. This wasn't even a fair fight. While the personalized approach was interesting, the classic approach is what actually delivered the results. Weight loss has always been, and still is, a game of physics. It's about creating a sustained energy deficit. The most effective diets, whether that's Mediterranean, low-carb, or plant-based, are really just different ways of achieving that same deficit. Team Classic wins this round, not because it's fancier, but because its simplicity makes it easier to stick with. And consistency is the single most important part of any weight loss journey. The trendy approach gets so bogged down in details that, while may be useful, don't matter at all if you can't actually follow the plan. Section 3. the test round 2. Wellness and energy. Losing weight is one thing, but feeling good, that's a whole different game. For this test, I wasn't looking at the scale, I was tracking my energy levels, my digestion, and just my general sense of well-being. I started again with Team Trend, this time focusing on a gut health protocol. This is one of the biggest trends in nutrition for 2025, and for good reason experts and dietitians are heavily focused on it. The protocol had me eliminating a wide range of foods often labeled as inflammatory while loading up on probiotics from sources like kefir and kimchi, and prebiotics from things like asparagus, garlic, and onions. The goal is to build a diverse, thriving gut microbiome, which science links to everything from a stronger immune system to better mental health. And I have to admit, after a few weeks, I did notice some real benefits. I felt less bloated, and my digestion was smoother. Next up, I embraced the classic approach to wellness, the Mediterranean diet. For decades, this eating style has been the gold standard for long-term health, linked to lower risks of heart disease, diabetes, and even dementia. My diet shifted to one full of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans, nuts, and healthy fats like olive oil. I ate fish a couple of times a week and cut back on red meat and processed foods. It felt less like a strict diet and more like a lifestyle. It felt abundant, not restrictive. The verdict on wellness. Okay, so this is where the lines get a little blurry. The Trendy gut health protocol definitely worked. I felt better. But here's the kicker. The classic Mediterranean diet gave me the exact same results, and it was way easier to follow. Why? Because a diet rich in a huge variety of plant fibers is exactly what builds a healthy gut microbiome. The whole gut health trend is basically just repackaging the timeless advice to eat more plants and fiber, then selling it back to us with the high-tech, science Y label. The Mediterranean diet has been promoting gut health for centuries, long before we even knew what a microbiome was. So while the trend isn't wrong, the classic approach gives you all the same benefits without the crazy cost, complexity, and restrictive rules. Team Classic takes the win again. CTA. And by the way, if you're finding this breakdown helpful, and you want to finally cut through all the confusing advice out there, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. My whole goal here is to break down the science into simple, actionable steps you can actually use. Section 4. The real secret. So, after all this testing, here's the most important thing I learned. This whole debate of trends vs classics is a distraction. It's a false choice designed to make you feel like you're missing out on some secret that you need to go out and buy. The truth is, any successful way of eating, whether it's a high-tech, personalized program or a diet from an ancient culture, is built on the exact same, non-negotiable foundations. This is the real secret. First, calorie balance is law. No diet can cheat the laws of thermodynamics. When it comes to managing your weight, the balance between the energy you eat and the energy you use is the ultimate decider. Everything else is just a footnote. Second, prioritize protein and fiber. These two are the pillars of a successful diet. Protein helps you feel full and satisfied, which is critical when you're eating fewer calories, and it helps you hold on to muscle. Fiber, from plants, does a similar job of keeping you full, but it's also the main food for your good gut bacteria. A high-fiber diet is a gut health diet. It really is that simple. Third, consistency beats complexity. The most perfect diet on paper is totally useless if you can't follow it for more than a week. The reason classic diets like the Mediterranean have been around so long is because they are flexible, enjoyable, and sustainable. Study after study has shown that the biggest predictor of long-term success is simply being able to stick with the plan. Simplicity almost always wins. Fourth, focus on whole foods. If you strip away all the marketing, you'll find that every effective diet pushes you toward the same thing: eating whole, minimally processed foods. Whether it's a personalized plan telling you to eat specific vegetables or a classic diet that just emphasizes them, the common ground is cutting back on the junk food that is designed to be irresistible but has very little nutritional value. Conclusion and final CTA. So, what actually works in 2025? The answer is kind of boring, but it's the truth. The timeless principles work. Don't get me wrong, the future of nutrition is definitely going to get more personal, and the science of the microbiome is fascinating. But for 99% of us, the path to losing weight and feeling amazing doesn't require an expensive test or a complicated spreadsheet. The power isn't in the trend, it's in the foundations. So here is your actionable takeaway. Instead of ordering a gut microbiome test, just start by adding 3 different colored vegetables to your dinner tonight. Instead of paying for an AI-generated meal plan, just try following the simple, evidence-based principles of the Mediterranean diet for 1 week. Focus on mastering the basics, because the basics, when you do them consistently, are what will finally get you the results you've been looking for. What's the most confusing or ridiculous diet trend you've ever come across? I really want to hear about it. Let me know in the comments below. And if this was helpful, be sure to check out the next video on your screen, where I do a deep dive into how to start the Mediterranean diet, step by step. Thanks for watching.